everyone, I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and it's Saturday and we're going to do another craft today. We're going to continue with the tins. Did you see my Wednesday chatting craft time? We did actually make, it's here. This is what we made Wednesday, and I put the feet on, as you can see, and I actually finished the inside. I don't know if you saw the pictures. Hello Debbie, how are you doing? I put some more pattern, different butterflies and picture inside. So now it's finished and getting lots of attention. I think everybody was in the mood for having something pretty. So that we finished Wednesday. If you didn't see the live, go back into my page, go into my videos and have a watch how we made this. Now this was made, let me just pop that back up here if I can. It was made from different tins, these kind of cookie tins, biscuit tins. I have many different ones. I'll show you a different shape one. Hold on. I have many different tins and quite a few different shapes and sizes, and that's what I made that butterfly little pretty box out of. So we're going to be working with these again today and doing something completely different. So before I get started, I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and welcome. If you're new, say hello and where you're from, and if you can share or sprinkle the love, that would be amazing. Our small businesses are hurting. I know everyone's hurting right now, but we are hurting too. So everyone help each other out, and if there's anything I can do for you, that's in my realm of being able to, I will pass on the love. And if you can do the same, that would be appreciated. Things are going to change a little bit. As you can see already, on Saturdays I used to do a live at 11:30 a.m. Hi Carol, how are you doing? And now I have decided to do my live on Saturday at 4 p.m. The reason I changed the time, there's many different reasons, but the main reason was I used to have an open house on a Saturday for people to come by, see what was available and pick items up. And obviously I'm not doing an open house right now through all these problems in the world. So instead of doing that, I've been spending the time doing some more painting, and I also have a full-time job, so I'm busy with that too. And I kind of figured let's put the live towards the end of my day so that I can get myself prepared and get the day done and relax then at 4 p.m. and say hello to you guys and show you what I've been doing. So on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I'm going to now make it 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. each Wednesday in each Saturday, and that's Pacific Standard Time. I'm also going to pop on, maybe do some lives, especially if I'm doing a piece of furniture. I may finish that piece or do a few more steps of that piece the next day, as everyone right now, well not everyone, but a lot of people right now are homebound and want something to do. So if they can do that, that would be amazing. And you know, if I can do other things during the week, I'd be doing it in the week too. So if you kind of, you know, want something to watch, want to join in, want to say hi, then you know, I'm going to be doing a little bit more lives, a little bit more stuff, some more furniture and crafts and painting and techniques and just tips and tricks through the week, and hopefully you'll enjoy while maybe stuck at home and a little bit sick of Netflix. So yeah, so every Wednesday, every Saturday, I will 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will definitely be doing lives, and in between I will pop on and do more lives in between, especially if I'm finishing a piece, so that you can see the finish and everything else, even if it's just a reveal. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be continuing with these tins, and these I believe are drinks tins. I've got a couple of different ones, different shapes. Now, if you remember, I got given a whole box of these different shaped tins donated to me. So just because I have a lot of drinks tins doesn't necessarily mean I drink a lot of this. I do dabble in a few drinks, but I don't drink as many as the tins I do have. So just letting you know, I'm not kind of a little bit of a drinker there, just I have a lot of tins. So what we are going to be creating, because I've already done one, and I had this idea and I played with it and I really like the outcome. So I'm going to show you, if you can see here, the outcome of what I made. Can you see that? That's what I made. And this is what I'm going to show you how to create. And the reason I was inspired to do this, because I thought this shape and size would be great in the kitchen for putting your longer like wooden spoons and different utensils, the long ones that you use in the kitchen. You could maybe put on a shelf and put them in here. So I kind of made it rustic looking, and so this literally was one of these. So this is what we're going to do. Also, I have this, which is a bucket I picked up a long time ago from a thrift store. I think I got it for like, yeah, I got it for $1. I still got the price on here. I got it for $1. And I didn't paint the bottom because I wanted you to see this is what it used to look like everywhere. So it was a bright purple, I think kids' little kind of, it is tin pot. And I've painted it black inside and out. And I will finish the bottom. I'm now drinking the bottle. The bottom. I will finish this, but I did want to show you kind of what it used to look like, because when it's finished, you know, hopefully there'll be this big transformation like this. So this one here we're going to work on, and we are going to work on this round one here. So we're going to try and get, sorry, moving everything around. We're going to get this effect, and we're going to be trying to get this effect on these two. So a round kind of tall one for the kitchen and this bucket, and see if we can do it with a bucket. And I just painted them both base coat black, just kind of slapped the paint on randomly. I actually sprayed it on. I had a spray black, so I just put that on, chalk paint black spray matte, and just to quickly just get a base coat on. So if you do the black underneath, it gives it a good base to work with, and if any of it shows through, that's what you want showing through, is the black and not bright purple. Alright, so I am going to have a sip of my tea because the last couple of days have been so cold. I don't know about where all you guys are, but we had such a pretty nice week last week, some sunshine. I wouldn't say it was warm, but it was pleasant last week. And then this week is so cold again. I mean, it's not snowy, it's not icy, but I just feel that wet kind of cold today. What's the weather over there? Where are you guys from, and what is your weather? So what we're going to be using is some grey chalk paint. I have a little bit of this one left. If I need to open a new one, I will do. So this is the colour paint we're going to be using, and I'm going to be doing that with a brush. And also, to get that effect, trying to get myself organised here, because we'll do this one first, I think, to move everything out of the way. This is the other paint. Got this from Home Depot. I've had it a long time. I don't use this one very much, so that's why I was so happy when I came up with an idea for it. But I do have the same paint in a bronze kind of colour. You can get gold, but I picked up the bronze, and I used it a lot, very heavily through the Christmas season, because I love the look of it, to make it look, the bronze kind of looked like an antique gold when I put it on some Christmas decorations. So I used that quite a bit over the Christmas, but I didn't use this very much. So I'm happy that I'm going to be using it today. So those are the two products we will be using, and if I can get the lid off. And with this one I'll probably just be able to touch from the actual lid, we'll see. Try and get myself organised, and yeah, I got a little bit of this one left. I'll open the other one if I need to. So I'm going to be painting, which means I need to pull up my my sleeves, because you know me, I get it everywhere. And with the actual silvery colour, hi Anto, thanks for watching, I'm going to be using sponge painting. You can get these sponges from any little craft store. Oh, I got an itchy nose today. From any craft store or even dollar store you can get these, or you can just cut up a home sponge, no big deal. And if you don't have a sponge, I'm sure you can use a brush too. And with the actual grey colour, I'm just going to use a brush. Okay, so those are the different things. So I'm going to pop the lid off for the moment, and we're going to just be going up the side here. As you can see, I even have a scratch where I put the paint in, but no big deal, this is the base coat. So what I'm going to be doing is getting some of the grey onto my brush and just basically, and it's hard to see it because of the black, but you do want this to give it some texture and some interest. So I'm going to, as you can see, splattered on, kind of like when you're doing stenciling, splatter it on in the area what you want, and then pick up the sponge, dip it in some of the silver, and do the same technique. You don't want it too wet, and just keep going over the itself so that you're kind of pressing it down. You don't want it spotty, you want it more smudgy. That's my technical terms. I'm sure there are better ones, but those are the ones I'm going to go with. You want it smudgy, not spotty. Alright, so if you find it's too much of one colour or not enough of the other, you can always go back and just keep going over, layering over. And if you go over it a few times, you kind of get that look. It's hard to see, I think. There you go, with the light. But that's kind of what you're looking for. And then a little bit more. Go down here. And back again with the sponge. Now I've already used this and I didn't wash it out, so it's a little bit crusty, and it's the last one I have, unfortunately. But this, again, the last couple of weeks I'm working with what I've got, and that's what I've got, so that's what I'm putting up with. I'm going to move this bucket, it's making noise, rocking back and forth as I'm doing this effect, and I think it might annoy you. So we're just going to go over. And then the next side, same thing all the way around. Now this one's not got the edges, the shape of the other one, so we'll see what this one comes out like. Let's see how it goes. And there's not much difference of this grey colour, it's a charcoal grey, and the black background, but there is a slight difference, and this also gives it some definition because you're tapping it on, so it's giving it a little texture. So you can see the black when you're close up. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the black behind. And then when you put the silver on, you see that. So it does give it that effect better than if you didn't do the black first, or if you didn't use the grey. You kind of need both, I find. I prefer it with both anyway. If there's areas you don't like what you've done, go back over it and just keep layering the black, the grey and the silver. As I say, you don't want it spotty, you want it smudgy, right? Smudgy. It's my new word for the weekend. It's going to be smudgy. So just going to do this last little bit here. As I'm doing this, I'm rocking the whole table, but that's okay. And I just got it all over my fingers. I can feel the wetness of the paint. But that's typical for me, isn't it? That's okay. So we have that look all the way around. And I'm going to let that dry down here. It is next to the vent, but unfortunately I don't think the vent's on right now, so oh well. And we're going to do, we'll just do the outside of this, but I want to do the bucket too because I can't wait to see what that looks like. It's a metal bucket that we're going to make look metal. It's a craft thing, you know, we make it different and then we make it the same again, right? Try and do all this side in one go, and then we'll do the other side. So. If it looks spotty, go back over it. That's what will give it that smudged look. I know, it's not technical, but I can't think of a better way of describing it. Just press down, and if it's looking a little too much of the same because it's blending, then just go back in and get some more colour. And we're going to do the other side. I'll go back in over after and do the handles, I think, because I want kind of a little bit of the handles to be able to hold on to, right, to be able to finish it. Its round things are a little awkward shape to deal with. So. I think I just flung some paint. I don't know where it landed. If anybody sees that, it wasn't me, okay? I'm not sure where it landed. Alright, let's have a look around here. Oh, I missed under here. Alright, let's see. Okay, go over the handles a little bit. And as I say, I'll do the inside and the bottom later. And just let that dry. Now also where did I put it? I wanted to do one more thing while I actually had this colours out. I wanted to use, you know, these little Dollar Tree kind of candlesticks. I quite often use these on the 3-tier trays in between. I thought I would try, I mean it's glass originally and I painted it black. I thought I'm going to try the technique on here and see if it makes it look metal. Not done it before, so let's see if it works on here too, eh? So I'm just going to put this colour grey all the way, splatter it on all the way around. And then I'm going to go back in with the metal, the silver, to see if that works. Because if that makes it look metal, I can maybe make some 3-tier trays that actually look metal. I just got my arm in that. I'm a messy painter. My mom's always said I'm a messy painter. She's right, I think. Alright, let's get it everywhere. I think the key on this one is to not make it so wet, because I'm not sure if it's going to dry how I think it's going to dry, but that's what we got going on. So we'll see. Let's see how it dries, shall we? Alright, I just got my arm in it again. See? Look at me. A mess. Anyway, I don't need that, I think, so I'm just going to get this wipe and wash up my hands, because I've got paint everywhere. I look like I'm covered in silver. And the one thing I would love to have, and it's not going to happen, but I'd love to have, is actually a sink in my little craft room. My craft room is the only room that's upstairs, and I have to run down to the kitchen whenever I want to go wash my hands. So I would just be so over the moon if I actually had a sink in my craft room. But oh well. Anyway, let's get that off. Make myself look a little presentable, and off my arm too. And I'm going to, I have a bag here. I guess I should have done this before I cleaned my hands. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to put the lid back on my paints, because I tend to knock paint flying. I actually was carrying a big container, a bit like this size, big container of paint, and I was bringing it up here upstairs to the craft room, and I thought, you know what, I don't need it for much, I'll just run upstairs with it, not run, but just nip upstairs with it, and then bring it back down after. So I didn't put the lid on, and I tripped on the stairs, and I saved myself, and I saved the actual paint, so it didn't go anywhere. But oh, I caught my breath on that one. I thought I was going to have that paint everywhere. Anyway, let's see if this one, is it dry? Still a little wet. So we're going to move this one down, and unfortunately for you guys, I'm going to have to put the dryer, which is really noisy, on this. So I won't be a minute, and I'll just get this completely dry, because there are more steps to make it a little different. Hold on. So I just created a nice way to warm my arm. Put your arm in a metal container and put a blow dryer on, and then it makes your arm nice and warm. So the things I come up with, right? Anyway, let's do the next step. I'm going to show you here what we're doing. We're going to do some stamping like we did here. So we've done stamping before, you've seen me do that, but we are going to use the black ink. And I do label mine so that I know the black ink instead. Quite often I use stone grey, but this one you need the black, and it's obvious. It's such a dark underneath, the grey would not show. So you need the black, and you want it juicy. So you're going to have to be careful on that. And on the first one I used this stamp, and it's a pure thick cream fresh daily. It's like a cream, one of those little stamps. And I'm going to put this on here, but it is going in the kitchen, but I don't want it to look like a creamer. This is not, this is more farmhouse. This is not creamer. Cream's kind of a whitish colour, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to juice up the stamp with my pad, and then I'm going to, with a wipe, just wipe off some of the words I don't want printed. And if I don't get it all, while it's still wet on here, I can just rub it off here too with a wipe while it's wet. But as soon as it's dry, this is permanent ink, it's there. So it takes a little bit of just kind of adjusting. So I will get my wipe ready. And let's get going. So what I'm going to do is, with my black ink, I'm going to press it down onto the stamp, and you want it juicy because you want to be able to see it, right? We are doing it on a dark surface. Press down really good, and then with the wipe, just wipe off the parts you don't want. Take the ink off the words you don't want. So I'm just taking it off, basically the creamer and that. I just want the outside and the little emblem. I don't want the rest. And because this is round, I'm going to put it down, and just be careful, but I'm going to press this down on here and just take my time, because I don't want it to shift, or else you're going to get a smudged look, and you don't want that. Hi Pat, how are you doing? And I'm just going to take my time because it is a round object which does roll on you, right? So let's take my time on this, just pressing it down. How are you doing? And just putting your finger over the whole stamp, just making sure you get it all on. It's an IOD stamp. Those are the stamps I use right now. I like those. I don't promote them, I don't sell them, just the ones I've got, that's what I have, and I like them. They work really good. Yeah, you have a craft page, right? I couldn't find it. I don't know why. I'm not very good at technical stuff, so if you can send me the link, Pat, that would be amazing, and I can see what you've been up to, alright? So, it'll be hard for you to see this, but that's what we have. I'm finding when I have it that way you can't see it so well, but if I have it that way you can see that, right? So now we've got some space kind of missing where the words were. So what I want to do is put some word in there. And on a different stamp I have this. So where it said thick cream, I'm actually going to put this on instead. It's roses. It's not very masculine for the kitchen, but it's kind of French and looks a little bit better than creamer, because this does not look like a creamer, right? So I'm going to put this in where the words were. So where, just get the ink on the pad. I'm doing one word at a time, so I'm going to take the ink off the top word because I don't want that one yet. Just keep it on the bottom word, put it down, and I'm going to put that up here where we have a missing space and put that in instead. And then I'm going to do the top word. I'm going to put in this smaller space. So I'm juicing it up. Put the lid back on your pad when you're not using it because you don't want it to dry out. juicing it up, and then take off the ink off the word you don't want to use. And then just put that on the bottom here. That looks good. I don't know if you'll be able to see the words that I put in, but I put them inside, and as I say, a little bit better than just putting creamer on there. So that's what we have going on so far. Now, as you've seen me do this before, I liked this look, especially if you've got a tin that's got angles like this one. But as I say, it's hard to show you because of the angle on here. But I'm go around basically the edges and the top and any corners, going around with the ink pad to give it that aged look. And we did this with the books, did it with a couple of things, and I tend to do this a lot on stuff that I stamp. I go around the edges with the pad to give it that kind of aged look. And even though this one is round, I'm still going to just a little bit go around it, okay? So basically you go around the top, all the way around, and then I've got a bit of a lip here, so I'm going to go around the lip as well, pressing, using the black. Still, you need the black because you need that colour. And then I'm going to go around the bottom and just really juicy kind of push it all the way, make it thick all the way around. I'll show you when I've done it, but you want a thickish layer all the way around to give it that old look, old metal look. And I'm just going to show you if I can here. We have, can you see, we have a seam here. I'm going to go along that seam, especially on the two ends, with the pad, just to give it that aged kind of used look. So I'm going to go along the edge and along the top here, and then down, pushing the ink around that area, and then just carry on around. I got ink all over my hands because it wasn't quite dry at the top, but that's okay. I'm always getting ink on me. And then just a little bit, just because it's round, we don't have edges, so just randomly, just a little bit of ink on some of it to make it look aged. And I'm going to put the lid on that to save my ink. And that's kind of what we have going on. You see where I've got the ink on the bottom here? When I put it that way, I don't think you can see it as well. But when it's dry, yeah, it looks kind of aged. And that one's kind of finished. You do, especially going in the kitchen, it's going to be wiped down. You do need to seal it when it's completely dry. I would say let it all dry overnight at least. So I use this, but you can use any poly top coat. This one I use right now, I wouldn't say it's the best one, is the one I have, and it's not bad. It's a good quality, especially if in a kitchen. Thank you, Pat, that's so sweet of you, very nice. If you've got this one, it's a good one for in the kitchen, because if you're wiping down with a wet rag on any of your surfaces, this one is a good strong one for any water that's close by. So I'm going to clear coat this and the other one when they're dry. Okay, so I will be using that. And I'm just going to put this down to one side. And let's see if this one needs to be dried a bit more. Yeah, it's still a bit wet. So sorry, I'm going to put noise on. Won't be a moment, and let's get this one dry. sorry about that noise. I know. Thank you, Carol. That's so sweet of you. So this side I have definitely dried, so we'll work on this side. And I'm going to use the same stamp, the same technique, and just so it's got exactly the same, but on this bucket, so you can see it on the bucket. So I'm going to juice up my stamp again. Let's do it this way so you can see. Juice up the stamp again. Lots of ink on here so we can see it nicely, but not forgetting we want to take off any of the lettering we don't really want on this particular product, this particular creative. Alright, so let's take off the pure thick cream, even though it sounds so good. I wouldn't mind some cream. And then the dairy fresh, we don't want that word on there either. And then the rest we're going to press on here. So I'm going to put it down here and put it on without it shifting on me. And as I say, press the middle down and then the sides around, and then just move your fingers around the whole stamp, pressing down, getting all the detail. And if you put actually a cloth down underneath, like a tea towel or something like that, and bunch it up, it probably wouldn't roll, or an old towel, it wouldn't roll as much. I don't have one, but I've done this quite a few times now, so I kind of, to a point, trust myself. And let's just press that down. Let's see if that comes out nicely. As I say, this time you kind of do want it juicy so you can see it. Oh, hi Tanya, how are you doing? First time watching, where are you from? And welcome. So there we have the stamp. And we've got some missing spaces because we took the words out. We're going to go back in and put the words back in, if you remember, just like we did on the other one. So get it all juicy, and I'm going to just use my wipe to get rid of one of the words, get the ink off one of the words, because I'm doing one word at a time. And let's find in the light where I want this stamp to go. That word up here. So yeah, if you have all the different stamps or little letter stamps or something like that, you can, just use these actual stamps from IOD to get the outline, but you don't necessarily have to have the middle part. Just make it look like kind of an old, trying to think of the word for it, but what's the word for it? You want it to make it look like a label, but it doesn't always have to be what this label is. You can take the words out and put your own in, right, if you have little letters to do that. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know. Am I rambling today? I find when it comes to Saturdays and I do my live, I'm a little bit more rambling than I am on a Wednesday. Just juice this up again. And we just want the little word on this one, and I'm just going to press it in underneath here. I think the candlestick is looking good, but it's very juicy, so I wouldn't have put as much paint on next time. Alright, so we have that going on. Now we're going to just do the pad around again. So we have a different kind of shape here, so I would do the pad a little bit on the handles, definitely along the top. I'm just doing this front part first because I didn't do the back yet, and then get it underneath. And then we got some lines here, so press it down on the lines. And a little too much, so take some of that off while it's wet. Gotta get it quick while it's wet, put too much on. And then along the bottom here, oops, just pushing along the bottom give it that old look. And then each side we have a join, so I'm going to go up the join. We have our metal bucket that was quite the bright purple colour, now turned back into a metal bucket again. And what I would do with this one actually is maybe put some nice fresh flowers in, and you've got kind of a farmhouse look with some fresh flowers. I think that would look really sweet in that one. Or again, you can use it in the kitchen to put utensils in, whatever you want in the kitchen. So we have this one. We have this one, and this is the one I made in the week, this one. And we have been making this one, it's still wet, but this is the actual candlestick. So when it's dry, I would go back around, just like I did with the edges on all these, with the ink pad, and just do all the edges. I think that'll look nice. And what I'll do is when I finish this actual candlestick and I go around the edges with the ink pad, I won't be doing it today or tomorrow because Sundays I don't do any creative stuff. I'm home with the family. But I will get this one finished up, and on Monday I will display them all and show you the finished product. So there we go. You can make basically fake metal look, and you can make it look old. And also I would take this, maybe not on this one, not on the candlestick, but maybe on the bucket. I would maybe even take this one step further, and if you've seen me do it before, I can do with paint and cinnamon a rust colour, a rust look. I would maybe even do a little bit of that just on the edges, a little bit of rust, and around the screws of the handles, and I think that would look good too. So there you go, we went from bright purple, which I will do the bottom later and finish it, to finishing it to make it look like a little metal bucket. There you go, that was a tongue twister, metal bucket. So there you go, that's what we've got going on today. I came across that, it was an inspiration. Hi Marcia. Is it Marcia or Marcia? I've heard different, so I think you get called both, and I think you're used to that. But those are the ones I did this week. We have the butterflies, it's right behind my head. We did that from a tin, and we did this from a tin. And basically they are literally old cookie tins, and that's what I made them from. So basically you can have pretty butterflies made into that. I think I'm going to have as a little kind of letter box to put cards and letters from my mum. I'm going to put in there. And also you can, Marcia, sorry I've been pronouncing your name wrong. So hello Marcia, and nice to see you, thanks for watching. And we have this look, totally opposite looks, totally different, but all from the same basic tin. So you can use a drinks tin or a cookie tin, or if you are from England like I am, biscuit tin is what we call it. This is a biscuit tin, and my favourite biscuit, which is shortbread from Scotland. Those are my favourites, so I'm not quite sure I'm going to be painting this one. I think I might keep this one because I like shortbread and I love tartan, so this one I think is going to stay the way it is. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend, be safe, be happy, spend time with the family, and I will see you again next week. I think I am ready to maybe do a chair. I've got a few chairs to do, and I did say I was going to do it this week, but I think I'll definitely started on that next week. So I think maybe Wednesday we'll be doing a chair. So yeah, Marsha, catch up on replay, see how I did it, and also the butterfly one behind me I did Wednesday. Don't know if you saw that, but maybe to go back on replay. And if you do see things, any of my videos on replay, please put in the comments #replay, and I would love to see who's been watching, and thank you for watching, and thank you all for watching. Goodbye.